tuning in from. Today's call is going to be pretty quick, straight to the point, and I'm just going to really bring clarity to each and every single one of you guys when it comes to consumer law and being able to use this to discharge debts off of one's consumer report. So, first and foremost, I want to break down when it comes to consumer law. A lot of people are getting into it and thinking that you got to know everything about consumer law. Well, I'm going to debunk that, and what's going to help you understand these codes and subchapters and different titles is knowing the definitions. So any chapter, any subchapter that you guys are reading, study and master the definition within that subchapter or whatever chapter that you guys are in specifically. So, there's titles, and then within that title, there's chapters. So within those chapters, there's also subchapters. So within each subchapter, I need you guys to master the definitions within that subchapter that you guys are using. What I want you guys to understand as well is there's over I forget, I think they're over 30 different titles, right? Title 1, Title 2, Title 8, which I believe is on banks and the banking system. Title 12, or that may be Title 12. I forget. Title 15, which is dealing with commerce and trade. I know Title 15 damn near like the back of my hand, not just Chapter 41. I know that there's over 110 chapters within Title 15. But above all else, when it comes to consumer law, it's not just about knowing the codes and exercising and throwing out all of these laws at these companies, because at the end of the day, they've got on their end, a whole attorney office that has been working with them, where these attorneys have gone to school, and practice of law. So they're very familiar with law. So it's not all about throwing these laws out at these companies, but also breaking down your situation. How have you guys and how has your livelihood been affected from what's taking place with these accounts that you guys are disputing? So a lot of you guys forget to explain your story, forget to explain what took place through the transaction. How were you guys deceived? How were you guys misled? How were you guys abused? How were you guys harassed? See, this is where a lot of you guys are going. How with them calling you guys, does that inconvenience you? Do you operate a business? Go look into 15 U.S.C. 1692C. Right away, it talks about if they call you during a time which is inconvenient to you, that's a violation of 15 U.S.C. 1692C. That's just one thing. And what I want you guys to understand is, are you guys breaking down your story and how it's affecting you and your livelihood? What are the damages that are being done? Have you guys gone to the doctors? Maybe it is affecting your marriage. Have you guys gone to counseling because of the debt that you guys are constantly arguing over, and it's just caused friction and a lot of tension throughout the relationship, to where you guys have had to go through counseling and pay for counseling? Well, that's the damage that's been done to your livelihood because of this alleged debt that is reporting on your consumer report. So what I want you guys to understand, family, is that, sheesh, I could have gone earlier. What I want you guys to understand is that you guys got to explain, and break down your guys' circumstance and what's taking place and happening to you guys. But above all else, family, outside of that, definitions, breaking down your story, and I want you guys to start getting familiar with knowing case law studies that back each one of these consumer law codes that you guys are using. Also, I want to break down the big 3 subchapters that I like to cover and go through and help make sure that people are exercising. And that's going to be truth in lending, and that starts at 15 U.S.C. 1601. If you guys are just tuning in, let's make sure to get the likes up on this video so more people can get in tune with this teaching. And if this has helped you in any way, if you guys have learned one thing, drop a like and drop some feedback in the comments. But above all else, with all of this information, we all got to be taking action. So the big three subchapters. Number one is truth in lending. Number two is going to be the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and that's 15. It starts at 15 USC 1681. And then we got the third one being the FDCPA, 15 USC 1692. We also have the Equal Credit Opportunity, which starts at 15 USC 1691. Now, this isn't a part of the big three, but this is a great opportunity, especially when we talk about, just anything discrimination. There's tons of discrimination that does take place based on, race, color, sex, origin, where you guys are at. There's a whole lot, that of discrimination that does take place. So the Equal Credit Opportunity Act will help you guys with getting, those situations handled. I'm right now about to get my license for real estate out in New Mexico, and they talk about the Equal Credit Opportunity Act within the actual course, and how a lot of mortgage companies, and depending on different locations, I believe it's called like redlining, and then another term as well too. But basically, certain locations, a lot of lenders will deny just because of the location and maybe race of a person in that location, etc. But a lot of discrimination that does take place. So the Equal Credit Opportunity is huge in housing and getting a mortgage, in any loan or any line of credit really as a whole. But outside of that, I'd really perfect as well to know the congressional findings, because just with the congressional findings of each one of those, you guys can honestly get anything removed. That's what Congress found. That's why they passed that subchapter in the first place. And so I want you guys to get familiar with the definitions, but also congressional findings as well. All right, family. And another thing I want to bring clarity and shed light on is to make sure that we're all using artificial intelligence, to help us break down and have, insert one of these codes and have it break down in layman terms what it means. Get familiar with Black's Law Dictionary. All right, we want to be reading the
Dictionary is the most frequently used legal dictionary in the United States. Henry Campbell Black, 1860 to 1920.
Series listening, huh? But yeah, family, the Black's Law Dictionary, get familiar with it. And let's see, a couple other things I wanted to cover. I want to make sure I don't miss nothing. Let me see. We're just flowing. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop down below. Let me see. What else was it that I wanted to cover? So we got the Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act as well. So let me cover all of the acts real quick. Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act, GLBA. Highly blessed and highly favored. James, how you feeling, brother? You see the sun is shining. We glistening, we glowing. We vibrating very, very high. I've been very consistent with everything that I've been doing lately. And just every day bettering myself and becoming the best me. I've been working on a lot of huge projects, multi-family syndication company that I'm launching. I'm going to be offering it open to the public here pretty soon. Right now, I'm just working with my non-accredited investors, or my accredited investors, excuse me. My non-accredited, I'm going to be taking on here pretty soon. I'm setting up an investor portal. I'm going to drop an app where you guys can see your investment with our fund, but we're about to be buying hundreds of units nationwide when it comes to multifamily. Feeling good. I'm back and better than ever. Let's do it, James. Let's do it, brother. Feeling good. Just got out of a place for my mental health, and it's time to focus on me and nothing else. Let's do it, bro. Anything that I can do for you, please do let me know. You family, bro. You locked in. You with the mentorship, so let's take action, bro. Really dive into the Discord. Start going back to the Discord. We have our mentorship course. Go through that course. I've got tons of recorded videos I've been uploading that we've been running from the mentorship. So, it'll be as if you didn't skip a beat. Just watch those recordings. But, all right, family. That's really all that I got for you guys today. master the basics, use AI, no case law study, and break down your guys' story. What are the damages? Be able to show these damages. And above all else, we want you guys as well too to be familiar with arbitration. Don't be scared to go through arbitration once you've built up evidence. Make sure you guys are following an administrative process. We've got an administrative process through our university. For anybody that's looking to get access to our administrative process, we've got a whole video on it. I'll show you guys how to use AI and how to literally do everything hands-free, to where you guys can actually set up your own credit repair company off of the video and the breakdown of our administrative process and showing you guys how to use AI with it as well too. Within the administrative process, what's going to help you guys is knowing consumer law so that you guys know throughout these disputes what to insert into your guys' letters and along with your guys' story. And another big thing that I'd really like to stress before we head up on out here is provide that evidence. It's not what you know, but it's what you can prove. I'm gonna say it one more time and one more time only. It's not what you know, but it's what you can prove. So if you guys are not able to prove any of these claims that you guys are throwing out there, they're just claims. You gotta back what you're stating. Do I send the response to denial of the credit to the SEC and FTC and OCC when I sent it to the bank? I mean, definitely, would help to send to all of those regulators. Depends which bank. If it's just a denial of credit, that's your evidence as well too. See, a lot of people get stuck up and they don't know what parties to necessarily attack. So with the denial of credit, how much were you guys denied? 50,000, maybe what were you denied for? Maybe a mortgage, maybe that's 400,000 you were denied for. Well, that's the actual damage that took place because of the inaccurate reporting that's being done on your consumer report. So with that being said, you guys can actually get paid, good lump sum for the damages of you being denied and there being inaccurate accounts on your report. But don't let that go over your head. Watch the replay. I appreciate y'all tuning in. One love.